Hello, hockey fans, and welcome to NHL Draft Pros. On today's video, I'm going to take a look at who could potentially go first overall in the 2025 NHL Draft. There are some great NHL Draft prospects shaping up to battle over the first overall spot, so let's get into it. And if you want to see some highlight videos on some of these prospects, head over to NHL Draft Pros on YouTube. And can you please help the channel grow by hitting that subscribe and like button? I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So, the last few years we've had the number one position pretty much locked in. So last year it was Macklin Celebrini, and he ended up going to San Jose. The year before that we had Connor Bedard, who landed in Chicago. So, those were pretty much guaranteed in terms of from the start of the season to the end of the season, and they lived up to expectations. But the year before that, in 2022, remember the Shane Wright year? That year, well, that kind of changed throughout the season. And I think that 2025 is shaping up to be something like that as well. And that year we had Slafkovsky that went first overall to Montreal. And then a big surprise, Simon Nemec went to New Jersey with that second spot. And then Logan Cooley went above Shane Wright to Arizona. And then Shane Wright finally landed at number 4 to Seattle. So I think that maybe this season could be shaping up to something like that 2022 NHL Draft. So the prospects in play, and the first one is James Hagens. So, at the beginning of the season, he was the consensus number one. And right now he has 11 points in 9 games playing for Boston College, which are decent numbers. But for a first overall pick, we're looking for a little bit more, in that department, I guess. And he's, a smaller player, 5'10", 176 pounds for a centerman. It's going to be a tough one. I think this season is going to go right down to the wire. So I'm going to show some highlights here of his play this season so far. And you got to remember, now he had a great season at the NTTP last year, had 102 points in 58 games, and he actually broke the U18 record, the World Juniors record, with 22 points in 7 games. So, you know what? Coming off last season, it was looking like he was going to, take this first overall spot no problem. But started off the season in BC right now kind of slow. Hasn't put up the numbers that we're expecting. And he's gotten a lot of chances. I've watched a lot of highlights of Hagens this year, and he's getting chances. The puck's not going his way, basically. He's not getting that puck luck. And his line mates aren't really putting up big numbers either. Ryan Leonard has 11 points in 9 games as well. So we're expecting a little bit more from the whole BC program. But if he has a good showing at the World Juniors, if he makes that World Juniors squad, the U20 World Juniors, and he has a good showing, I think it might kind of help him a bit. Now, if he just does, average at the World Juniors, then that first overall spot could be in play. And there are a few key players in that department. Now, the first one being Michael Misa. Now, look at the numbers he's putting up right now in the OHL. 42 points in 21 games. And he's big, 6'1", 185, and he can play the wing or center. He's playing center right now. And in terms of total points for the OHL right now, he leads the league as a draft-eligible player, 42 points. He's number 1. And number 2 is Porter Martone. We're going to talk about him in a second. But so we got some competition brewing for James Hagens. Now, the thing with Michael Misa, he was granted exceptional status by the OHL in 2022 and was selected first overall by Saginaw. He won a Memorial Cup with them last season. And like I said, started off this draft year on fire. Now, Michael Misa, he's got that motor. He does not stop when he's on the ice. Great skater, great hands, great shot. I mean, he's pretty much got it all dialed in. Now, the other thing that is impressive about Misa is, like I said, is it's all-around game. He's responsible in all 3 zones. And is responsible defensively and can play on the PP and the PK as well. So you got an all-around player who's big, 6'1", who is putting up monster numbers in the OHL. So you know what? He's definitely one of the top contenders for that first overall spot. And, like I said, as the season plays out, is Misa going to make that U20 Canada team? That's a question. And I think that the World Juniors is going to be a big, big showing for some of these 2025 draft eligible players. And again, his skating is top notch too. Like he's just a threat off the rush, has an NHL caliber shot, Passing, look at this. That's a nice little pass. He's cerebral, got good hockey IQ, and he's doing what he's doing. He's progressing. He's progressing in his numbers. Every season that he's played in the OHL, he's improved, and that's what you want to see. So, Michael Misa, he's in play for that first overall spot. Now, the next player on the list is Porter Martone. Now, he is big, 6'3", 207 pounds, and he has 37 points in 18 games playing in Brampton in the OHL. So, yeah, he is second in the league in points, right behind Michael Misa. Again, putting up some monster numbers in his draft year, and that's exactly what you want to see in a player. And, the thing with Martone is that, look at the hands on this shot. I just want to show you this clip here. I'm gonna stop talking for a second. Watch these little toe drag release. Hey-o, upstairs. Yeah. Big kid. He's impressive along the wall, and he uses his big body to kind of help protect the puck along the wall, but he's got great hands. And I saw him at the beginning of the season in Erie, and there was a couple times when he was along the boards and along the wall, and he was coming out in those battles easily with either a deke or using his body. And he's responsible defensively as well. He's got a little edge to his game. People are comparing him to Corey Perry, better skater, but that's the one thing, the one knock on Porter Martone is his skating. He doesn't, have he's just, average, a little bit below average maybe skating, but you can work on that, And you think of Beckett Seneca last year when he went third overall in a good draft. So can Porter Martone, take that first overall spot? That's, the question is it, depending on the team that gets that first spot in the lottery, if they have two stud centers, then they might go with the big winger, Porter Martone. So, he's in play for that first overall spot as well. The last player I want to mention today, I think it's a four-headed race right now, and that is Matthew Schaefer, the defenseman out of Erie in the OHL, another OHLer. And right now, he has 15 points in 11 games. So, yeah, he's doing some nice things as the defenseman. He's 6'2", 183 pounds, so he's big. And he currently is second in the OHL in points per games for D. Now, he was sick. He had mono, missed the first month of the season, but he's coming back on a tear. And like I said, second in the league in points per game because he's missed a bunch of games. But, the big thing, and you're going to see in these clips right now, is that Matthew Schaefer can skate. When he is probably the best skater in the entire draft. And I'm not talking for defensemen. I'm talking for forwards as well. He might be the best skater, one of the best skaters, top three for sure, probably in the draft. And just look at the wheels on this kid. Like, come on. And then the hands. Oh, that's a defenseman just did that, right? Coming off the penalty box. And so, yeah, when you're 6'2", and you can skate and, offensively putting up the numbers. Last year he didn't do really well in the point department, but I knew that he'd come this year, and I mentioned that in some other videos. I said, Martone's going to put up some nice numbers this year, and he started already. You got to see, we got a glimpse of his offensive play at the Hlinka. And when he played for Team Canada, he actually was the captain for Team Canada, and he had, 6 points and was fourth on the team in points. So, the other thing with Schaefer is that he's young. He missed the eligibility for next year's draft by about 10 days. So, he's probably one of the youngest players in this draft, and he's doing this, he's a year younger than Martone and Hagens, basically. So, I think that Schaefer, if he continues to dominate, and again, we could see maybe like the 2022 draft where, Porter Martone goes first overall and Schaefer goes second or something like that, because depending on the team needs of who goes, who gets the first spot and the second spot. So, this draft is shaping up to be a beauty. So, that's it for this video. Who's going first? I don't know. Right now there's a lot of season left. We got to figure it out. And that's it for this video. Check out, if you want to see some highlights, head over to NHL Draft Pros on YouTube. I got a bunch of videos there. And please subscribe. Hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. And we'll see you soon. Cheers.